coming. Watch Coda over the shoulder.
So North Carolina Tar Heels are playing at North Carolina State. Did they kind of have like a fight to see who got the cool name and who got the boring name in that whole county there? Yeah, that's all coming up tomorrow with Super Todd McLean's American Sports. If you haven't watched it before, watch it, because the man is an absolute genius. And I don't use words like that lightly. Words like man. Right, joining us now, physio Chris McLean. Chris, we're talking about the 3 H's tonight: Hinchcliffe, Holmes and Hollyoak.
That's good.
Now, Andy Hinchcliffe's heel, first of all.
Yeah.
How come Tottenham say, oh, no, we don't want to sign you with that dodgy Achilles tendon, but then Sheffield Wednesday go, nah, we'll take you with your dodgy Achilles. Is it dodgy?
Well, it was interesting, though, that his manager came out and actually announced it, wasn't it? It is dodgy.
Yeah.
It makes you think that, you know, for players like this with all these millions of pounds, there should be like an independent body that does like an MOT on the players and gives them a rating scale. Yeah. Like, this is a Class 1 athlete. Yeah, he's worth $3 million. Or, but yeah, I think it was good that actually they came out and they were honest about it.
Yeah.
I like Christian Gross, what he said. He said he had signed him on a pay for pay sort of deal, which I thought was a good idea. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Tottenham's approach as well.
So who was in the right then? Do you think Sheffield Wednesday have landed up with a crock, or were Tottenham right to sign him, or have Tottenham actually been a little bit kind of overreacted to what is not a serious injury?
I think, considering Tottenham's woes with injury crisis that they've had, they're very, very sensible. For once, maybe. I thought it was a good approach on their part.
Right, let's move on to Kelly Holmes now. We were talking about, I mean, Kelly's very, very unlucky with injuries. Shelley asked the question that, does Kelly overtrain, and has this contributed to her injuries? Now, I know that when Kelly started off, people said she didn't have a very strong finish. She worked on that with intensive speed training. Now, has that contributed to the injuries that she's had?
Probably not. When you look at the injuries she's had, you've really got to look at holistically. And you know, I was talking to her in the green room before, and she thinks a lot of it has stemmed from a back that hasn't really been treated, and she's looked at lots of different components.
Did you lay your hands on her?
I did, actually.
Yes, I thought you might have.
I'll tell you more about that later. But yeah, what we talked about that was most interesting was that she got the best rehab when she had a coordinated approach, when she had all the doctors, all the physios and everyone together. Yeah. And what I think would be great if we spent some of the lottery money and actually creating a British Institute of Sport, where the top athletes can come and get good treatment, all coordinated. And,
instead of spending it on the ballet.
Exactly. Well, ballet's good, it's important, but, yeah.
You were getting a bit political there, though.
I am, aren't I? Actually, I was making a few points here tonight.
Now, finally, Adam Hollyoak. I was amazed. When I saw that he dislocated his shoulder, I thought, that's it, he's going to miss the first test anyway. How can he put, I mean, has he just like, slotted it back into place and it's all right? Yeah,
what I heard, actually, was the joint just above the shoulder, which is the AC joint, where the collarbone hooks on, which isn't so serious. He could have just subluxed that slightly, which wouldn't actually affect, you know, the general function, the main functioning of the shoulder joint.
So it wasn't an actual dislocate, because some of the press were saying it was dislocated. So was it technically a dislocated shoulder?
I'd call it more of a subluxation, just of one of the smaller joints.
They just couldn't spell that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, subluxation.
Let's just hope that's what it was, but yeah, it should be okay.
Is it going to affect his bowling? I mean, I would imagine batting, that's not going to be that much of a problem, but bowling action, I mean, is it going to hurt him? Is it going to restrict his bowling or anything like that?
There will be pain, and I expect that he'll actually be a little bit weaker in certain parts of his range. When he lifts his arm, he won't be quite as strong. Yeah. And yeah, he shouldn't bowl for as long as stints, but he's got to strengthen up again. Yeah.
And finally, of course, we couldn't let us pass it. Queen Mother's hip.
Now, yes. Well, she's apparently supposed to be up and walking from tomorrow and weight bearing.
She has both hips she's had replaced.
She's had both done in the last.
She's getting like Barry Sheen now, isn't she?
12 months, yeah. I wonder whether it was the same surgeon who'd actually changed his sex. It was a male that operated on, then he changed his sex and became a female. Did you hear that story?
No?
No, it's true.
You're kidding, it was a tranny doctor who operated on the Queen Mother? Exactly. That's disgusting, that shouldn't be allowed.
One of the world's best at hip replacements.
Shit, did he do his own operation?
No, I don't think so.
Did he lop off himself, or did he?
A slip of a scalpel, well, that's... didn't make a mistake.
Well, 1 in 15 of them have got fucking alcoholic problems, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? That's
true, isn't it?
That's why he inadvertently gave himself that operation. Well, thanks so much for coming in, Chris.
It's been a pleasure. See me at Hyde Park Corner on Sunday. On the soapbox.
Fantastic music as always. Right, don't worry, we are going to get your calls tonight. Sorry, we just tried to cram a lot in tonight, so we are going to get your calls in a second. 099 200 655. But now is your chance to pit your wits against the live and dangerous backstage team, whose ears quite literally bleed as they set our competition this week. See how tough you find it.
The World Cup is getting ever closer, with England and Scotland preparing to take on the best of the rest in France this summer. England will have Shearer back, and he'll be battling it out for stardom against the likes of Ronaldo and Batistuta. Scotland boss Craig Brown, who has guided his team into the finals, will be in the Live and Dangerous studios on Thursday. We'll ask him how he intends to beat defending champions Brazil in the opening game. That's a tough question to answer, nearly as tough as the questions in the Trivial Pursuit World Cup edition, which you can win in this week's competition. And all you have to do to walk away with one of our games is answer this not